In a world loud with opinions and rushing with impulse, the Stoic man walks slowly. He does not beg for affection, nor does he chase every smile. He understands chat. The truth of human nature is often found not in what is said, but in what is silent Leierveld. And few things speak louder than body language. A woman may hesitato say what she feels, her pretty harunzatanti. Or the fear of rejection may keep her lips sealed, but her body, her presence, her eyes, they may tell a different story. The Stoic does no tasum. He does not cling to hope. Instead, he watches patiently wisely. This is not about manipulation, nor about reading to decode every move to feed your ego. This is about awareness, acumen honest understanding of human connection. When a woman is truly interested in you, her behavior will begin to shift, not always in grand gestures, but in the small, consistent signs. She likely doesn't even realize it gaving. The wise man recognizes these patterns, not to exploit them, but towards them, for every sign is an invitation, not a guarantee. You must still act with character, still stand firm in your values, and never let flattery pull you off the path, off reason. In this video, we'll explore an powerful yet often overlooked body language. Signs that suggest a woman may be attracted to you. These are signs even she might not be fully aware of. And while the world tells you to chase, to conquer, and to perform, the Stoic teaches you to perceive, to understand. If you lead from within, number one, a prolonged eye contact, the eyes, are often called the window to thought, but for the Stoic are more than just poetic metaphors. They are the first language of interest, curiosity, and quiet desire. When a woman is drawn to you, she may not speak aloud, but her gaze will begin to linger. Not just in passing, not just by accident, but in moments when her eyes could have easily turned. A way she chooses consciously or not to stay connected to your presence. This prolonged eye contact is not just about how long she looks, but about how she looks. There is softness in her eyes. A subtle intensity is if she's trying to read you without words. It might happen during conversation when she laughs at something you say, or even from across a room when she thinks you haven't noticed. And here's what separates the average man from the Stoic man. Most chase that gaze. They become needy for it. They depend on it for validation, but the Stoic does not seek attention. He observes it. He acknowledges signal without becoming intoxicated by it, because eye contact is not a primus. Itis, a sign, and signs require discrimination. Might glance at others. But if her gaze turns to you repeatedly, if she holds it just a second too long, if there's a pause when your eyes meet, she is communicating something deeper still. Never assume. Never react. Never react with desperation. And the Stoic holds her gaze with calm note as a challenge, notice a performance, but as an equal exchange of energy. If she's genuine interest, you will know by how comfortable she becomes maintaining that unspoken connection. Prolonged eye contact isn't loud. It's not dramatic, but it is deliberate, and it is one-off field. And most powerful signals of attraction. Number two, mirroring your movements. Movements in throat of Stoicism. We recognize that true connection requires sharing. And off, the most telling yet subtle signs of this harmony is found in something as simple as movement, or rather, the mirroring of it. When a woman likes you, her body language will start to mimic yours almost instinctively. It's as if the rhythm of your actions is so in sync with her inner thoughts that they can't help but reflected. Mirroring your movements is an ancient, almost unconscious way of showing agreement, affection, and alignment with the other person. If, for instance, you adjust your picture, she might follow suit, shifting her stance in the same direction. If you take a sip of your drink, she might do same. Shortly after, these small but significant movements reflect a deep nonverbal desire to be in harmony with you. It is nature's way of signaling comfort, attraction, and alignment. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes in. The Stoic observes this, but never Stoic mindset forces it. He is not trying to create a connection through external tactics or be manipulating the situation. Instead, he allows these moments of connection to unfold naturally, free of expectation. The mirroring itself reveals something powerful. She feels comfortable around you. Perhaps even subconsciously, it's a reflection of how your energy matches your own. It's not about control, and it's not about compassion. It's about balance. When you notice that her movements mirror yours, take it as a signal of her subconscious desire. To connect and find equilibrium with Iwan Stoic practice. Understand that itis not through force or manipulation. We attract others, but through quiet, authentic mirroring when notice should be appreciated without becoming a means of validation. Stoic does not seek approval, but observes it knowing that, true, coxine will grow naturally without effort, through mutual understanding and respect. So when her actions begin to mirror yours, understand that this is a natural and powerful sign of attraction. One that cannot be forced, but can be embraced. And just as a Stoic would Takathis signate with ego, but with quiet recognition. Knowing that in this moment you have created a space where your energies align, not because you sought it to bat, because it is meant to be. Number 3. Playing with her hair or jewelry in the realm of Stoicism. We understand that much of human behavior is driven by deep, often subconscious impulse surges that reveal a person's inner state without the need for spoken words. When a woman begins to play with her hair or jewelry in your presence, it's not merely an idle habit. This gesture is a deeply significant expression of attraction and self-awareness. Hair and jewelry in this context are symbols of personal identity. The Stoic recognizes the variety a person does with intentionist, meaningful, even if it might appear casual. At first, when a woman absent-mindedly twirls her hair or adjusts her necklace while conversing with you, these small, seemingly inconsequential ancient acts are often signs of heightened interest and emotional vulnerability. She is presenting hers, and by engaging with her hair or jewelry, she's signaling that she's aware of her appearance, likely hoping that it leaves a favorable impression. This gesture is a subtle act of supple comfort and assurance. The Stoic mind knows that confidence is not about arrogance, but truther, about accepting oneself in the present moment, free from anxiety. When a woman fidgets with her hair or touches her jewelry, she's often proven herself with this little reassurance. It is not only a sign of attraction, but a way for her to center herself in your presence in a Stoic sense. This act can also be viewed as a manifestation of the natural human desire to be seen and valued. It's her way of saying, I want you to notice me, boo. I do not need your. She is not seeking outward praise, but with allowing herself the space to be noticed. Seto. Be admired without the compulsion to force. If this speaks to the core of Stoic wisdom, knowing that one's worth is inherent, regardless of external look. Now, however, just as with Theo, there are signs of attraction. The Stoic observes this behavior without expectation or attachment. Act of her playing with her hair or jewelry is simply a signal, not a definitive vagrant. Oh, funny to attach to muck meaning to these actions would be to let external circumstances dictate your inner pace. Stoic does not rush to conclusions or make assumptions. Instead, he observes, accepts, and remains composed in his understanding. These signals are mere reflections of a deeper connection of folding naturally, and that is unfolding naturally. So, if you notice her filling with her hair or adjusting her jewelry in your presence, understand it as a soft conscious invitation to be more present. It's a gesture that suggests an emotional connection or an attraction. But like all things Stoic, it is best met with a calm, composed recognition, not one of anxiety or desperate hope. Number 4, leaning in when you leaning in. When you speak, speak in Stoic philosophy. There is an understanding that human beings are naturally drawn to things they value or desire. Much of this attraction, however, is not always conscious, can manifest in subtle physical behaviors that reflect a deeper emotional investment. One such sign is one. A woman leans in when you speak. This act goes beyond simple physical proximity. It is a reflection of interest, attentiveness, and most importantly, a desire. To connect, leaning in this context signals that their attention is fully engaged in your words as well as in your presence. The Stoic mind sees this as an indication of respect and curiosity. A woman who leans in is not merely waiting for her turn to speak. Rather, she is actively absorbing what you say, valuing your thoughts and words, and seeking a deeper understanding you. The body, in this case, speaks louder than any words could. It shows a desire to be closer, not just physically, but emotionally. In a Stoic sense, such behavior can be seen as an invitation to build a stronger connection. It is a gesture that transcends mere attraction. It reveals a willingness to engage, to relate. The act of leaning in canals as she allows herself to become or open to you both physically and emotionally. She is signaling that she values the moments and wants to be closer to the energy you bring to the conversation from a deeper perspective. STS. US to recognize when others exhibit openness and attentiveness while also remaining deeded from the need for validation. A woman's leaning in could be seen as a natural extension of her attraction. But the Stoic does not become consumed by this. Instead, register as part of the broader unfolding of the interaction. Her physical closeness is a natural sign of engagement, but it does not indicate a claim to her affection. It's simply an expression of present connection. Furthermore, leaning in when demonstrates a person's interest in the emotional resonance of the conversation. The Stoic acknowledges this as a reflection of emotional maturity. A desire to listen, understand, and build meaningful dialogue. Leaning in. She's showing that she is not distracted by noise around her, but instead focused on you and the value she perceives in your words. As always, the Stoic's response is composed and mindful. If you notice a woman leaning in when you speak, recognize it as an invitation to deepen the conversation, to remain present, and to maintain your composure. The Stoic does not rush or force emotions, but rather lets the situation fold naturally, accepting these seasons as part of the larger human experience. Free from undue expectation. Number 5, pointed towards you in Stoicism on the core principles, is to observe the world without attachment or judgment, to allow actions to speak louder than words. Body often communicates truths about intention and feeling that go unnoticed. If we are not mindful, a subtle yet powerful indicator a woman likes you is when her feet are pointed towards you during a conversation. While many people focus on contact and facial expressions, that direction of her feet can reveal a deep interest in your presence. Feet, as the Stoics might rarely manipulated by conscious will. They tend to move in that direction that mind and emotions feel most drawn towards when a woman is speaking with you or engaging in conversation. If her feet are pointed directly towards you, this can be a clear indication that she is emotionally and mentally invested in. You may not even be aware of it, but this subtle body language shows that her attention is fully directed at you. Her entire posture towards you, this behavior reflects the idea of proximity and attachment. Feet, unlike other parts of body, are naturally directed where a person feels most comfortable or most interested. A Stoic might interpret this as a sign that the woman feels a sense of security or curiosity in your presence that she is comfortable in, not to orient her body in your direction. It's a silent admission of her interest not only in your words, but in you as a person. Her body is subconsciously trusted engagement from a Stoic perspective, and this gesture is not about seeking validation or interpreting. It is Senevert sign of attraction, but rather recognizing it as a natural instinctive response to emotional connection. It is also an opportunity for the Stoic to maintain calm and mindfulness reacting to her body language with expectation or disarith. Stoic simply acknowledges this sign and remains composed, not allowing external cues to dictate. Internal state. In addition, this alignment of her FTO words, you can also signify an open receptive attitude. Unlike crossed arms or legs, which can indicate defensiveness or closed-off feelings, feet pointed towards you express a readiness to engage and the Stoic. Observer sees this as a sign thought's woman is open to deepening thigh interaction, fostering a space where a genuine conversation can occur. Number 6. Subtle touches. In Stoicism, we are reminded to observe through as it is without being swept away by impulsive emotions or external triggers. Yet the subtle gestures and expressions of those around us often reveal the deeper layers of their feelings. One of the most telling zings that a woman likes you is the presence of subtle touches. Small, seemingly insignificant physical contacts that speak volumes about her comfort and interest in your presence. It's like a light tap on your arm. The gentle brush of your hand or a soft touch on your shoulder are not just simple gestures. They're a form often spoken communication. The Stoics would advise us to understand these signs, not as mere actions, but as manifestations of internal emotions that have not yet been fully articulated. Touch, particular lissable and accidental ones, often reflects a deeper connection, one that transcends words. It's as if her body is communicating what her mind may not yet be willing to say aloud. When a woman likes you, her touch may seem instinctive, something that happens naturally without calculation. The stouches aren't overt excessive. Rather, they are brief moments off contact that suggest Chef feels a sense of closeness and intimacy. The Stoic might view this as a form of trust, physical proximity, and touch indicateth. She feels Safina to close the distance and allow you into her personal space. There's no need to overanalyze its action. Rather, it's about observing there in its purest form as a natural and sincere expression of trust from a Stoic perspective. Such gestures should be taken with a sense of tranquility. The subtle touch may not be a clear direct sign of romantic intent, but a reflection of openness and mutual connection. It's important for us to respond, not with overreaction, but with composure, maintaining awareness with it, letting the physical contact sway one's inner balance. Interestingly, these subtle touches can also serve as tests by initiating a small touch. She may be going your response whether you lean into it, reciprocate, or remain indifferent. This is where the Stoic remains grounded. One can acknowledge Justine, respond with kindness, and poise without allowing the touch to dictate the course of the interactic. Stoic does not seek validation from these small signals, but instead appreciates them as part of the larger dance of human connection, observing them with equanimity. Furthermore, the Stoic also understands that a woman may touch you subtly as a way to convey trust or admiration without feeling the need to express it overtly. These touches are often a sign that she's comfortable with you. That Chef feels a deeper connection that words cannot fully convey. It's a mutual recognition of each other's presence, and a quiet acknowledgement of a bond that goes beyond spoken communication numbers. Even laughing at your jokes, even the bad lot later, and Stoic philosophy. We are taught to focus on the things within our control and not become overly attached to the fleeting whims of external validation. However, human nature is sucked. We seek approval and acknowledgement, especially from those we admire. One of the most revealing signs a woman likes you is her laughter, particularly when she laughs at your jokes, even when they may not be all that funny. This is not mere happenstance, but a subtle instinctive response that speaks volumes about her feelings toward you. Laughter in the context of attraction is an expression of connection and appreciation. The Stoic observer would recognize that laughter often transcends the surface level humor of a joke. When a woman laughs at your jokes, even the bad ones, it can signal several things. First, It may indicate that she values your company and enjoys being around you. May not be laughing simply because your joke is amusing, but because she finds your presence comforting and pleasant in Stoic terms. This laughter could be seen as a form of affation, a quiet recognition of the emotional connection between you, not just the surface-level word sex changed. The Stoic would also understand that water is a form of shared vulnerability by laughing, okay? A woman is letting her guard down, allowing herself to express enjoyment or amusement, even at something trivial. In this way, her laughter serves as an invitation to a deeper bond, signaling that she feels comfortable enough with you to express her emotions, no matter how small or insignificant they might seem for a Stoic. This would not be seen as a rise to act impulsively, but rather as an opportunity to appreciate the natural unfolding of human connection with excessive attachment to the outcome. Interestingly, laughing at the bad jokes can be a sign of kindness and generosity. When a woman does this, she may be consciously or unconsciously trying at you at ease, showing that she enjoys your company, regardless of the quality of your humor. The Stoic would note that this is a graceful form of encouragement, demonstrating her willingness to create a positive atmosphere in your interactions. It's a quiet form of phrase, affirming that your presence alone is enough to make her feel at ease without the need for perfection. In your conversation from the perspective of Stoicism, it is essential not to overvalue such signs. Laughing at your jokes is one thing. Forming a bond that is deep and lasting requires a much more profound undressing of each other. Stoic, however, recognizes the lighterments as important building blocks in the broader context of relationship. It is not the laughter itself, but the connection it signifies that is of value. And as always, the Stoic remains vived from the outcome, observing the situation with calm awareness without seeking external validation through every smile or chuckle. Moreover, the Stoic would not become overly concerned with whether a woman laughs at every joke. Instead, he would understand that laughter, particularly at bad jokes, is an expression of lightheartedness and openness. She may not find every but the act of laughing demonstrates her willingness to engage with you, to share the moment and enjoy the simple connection of shared humor. The Stoic can appreciate this gesture without being fixated on its allowing him to respond with gratitude and genuine appreciation without seeking more than what is naturally offered. Number 8. Blushing or glancing away. Blushing or glancing away quickly. In Stoicism, we're reminded that true wisdom lies in understanding gears and mastering our emotional responses. Emotions are natural not to control us. They are simply signals of our inner state. However, a woman blushes or quickly glances away after a shared moment. This fleeting physical response can reveal profound insights into her feelings, and is a sign of attraction that the Stoic should approach with awareness and understanding. Blushing in the context of attraction is often an unconscious reaction to heightened emotions. It's a subtle, involuntary response to being seen or admired, and it can reveal vulnerability and sensitivity. From a Stoic perspective, blushing is not something to be ashamed of. Rather, it is an authentic reaction that signifies a deeper emotional stadia. Woman blushing when you look at her may indicate that she feels a certain level of admiration or attraction, but also a degree of self-consciousness. In Stoic terms, it can be seen as a natural expression of the delicate balance between emotion and self-awareness. The quick glance away, on the other hand, is another powerful signal. It reflects a momentary discomfort or bashfulness, as if she is momentarily averted by the intensity of the connection. The Stoic might interpret this as a moment off of vulnerability, a kind of retreat from gaze because she may not be sure how much to reveal about her feelings. It's a response to the realization of attraction, or a connection that isn't yet fully processed or invested. The act of glancing away is not necessarily a rejection. but A, to regain composure and balance, much like the Stoics' practice of self-control in moments of emotional intensity. The Stoic would recognize that such reactions are part of the natural human condition. Blushing and glancing away are in fact of genuine emotion, not the artificial masks of retention or detachment. These signal X that the woman is not trying to hide her feelings, but rather she is allowing them to surface in a very human, guarded way. The Stoic would observe at this with appreciation, recognizing that it's a form of vulnerability, one that acquires an element of trust and openness in the relationship. While Stoicism teaches us not to become overly attached to the fluctuations of emotion, we are still human beings, and these fleeting moments can reveal much about the dynamic between two people. However, the Stoic also understands that such reactions, while revealing, are only part of the making herself available picture. Blushing and quick glances away are not definitive signs of deep affection. They are simple emotional expressions. A Stoic's wisdom lies in interpreting these signs with clarity without attaching undue significance or expectation. Blushing may simply indicate attraction, but it does not necessarily imply deep emotional attachment or commitment. The Stoic will advise the tone should not seek to elevate these moments beyond what they truly are, but instead allow them to coexist as part of the broader unfolding of a relationship for them. Important tour. Remember that blushing and glancing awaken also occur out of embarrassment, shyness, or awkwardness. Not always as air salt of romantic attraction, the Stoic, mindful of this, bold. Interpret this as an alls with a balanced approach, appreciating the possibility of deeper interest without forcing assumptions. These signals, though meaningful, should not be overstated or virilized. Instead, the Stoic would stay focused on thebagar, picture of the relationship, keeping a calm and measured perspective while remaining open to the natural flow of emotions and connections that arise between. Pop Planner 9, making herself available and finding excuses to bear around. Stoicism, we learn that the best way to gauge the value of a relationship is through grand gestures, but through subtle and deliberate actions people take to show they care. It isn't the variety moments, the way one chooses to invest time, energy, and presence. That true interest becomes evident when a woman consistently makes herself available or finds excuses to be near you. It's not just a matter of coincidence. It's a sign that her feelings are guiding her actions, even if they remain unspoken. This behavior in the Stoic context is a reflection of her willingness to prioritize connection despite the transient nature of our emotions. From a Stoic perspective, the act of making herself available speaks though the core of human connection, intentional, that someone finds reasons to be near another person. It is often because they have identified a deeper value in that individual. The Stoic understands that attraction isn't always about grand declarations of emotion built off in a booth. Small, consistent efforts that align with one's values. A woman making excuses to be around you is in essence allowing her actions to speak louder than words may not express her feelings outright, but her willingness to be present signals a quiet buttoned and nobly inner Stoic sees this as an natural, albeit subtle sign of form of emotional commitment. That doesn't rely on outward displays, but instead the desire to engage on a deeper, more personal level. At the heart of this behavior is the Stoic principle, eudaimonia, or flourishing. Stoics believe that true happiness comes from pursuing what is virtuous and meaningful by seeking to be around. She might not only be looking to fulfill her emotional desires, but also to enrich her life with meaningful connection. This reflects a mutual pursuit of inner growth, and it's something that transcends mere attraction, in fact, and Stoic thought. The act of making herself available can be viewed as an effort towards self-improvement through the connection with someone who embodies values, share respects, admires, or aspires to share in her own life. However, the Stoic would also caution that Such actions must not be seen as guarantees of deeper affection or attachment. Making oneself available is not an absolute indicator of romantic interest. It is possible that a woman might simply enjoy your company, value our wisdom, or seek to establish a connection that doesn't necessarily go beyond friendship or respect. Stoic understands that actions can be interpreted in multiple ways. Anthetolin's feelings or intentions can change over time as such. While the behavior of seeking proximity may reveal interest, the Stoic does not become overly attached to such actions as definitive proof of commitment or affection. In line with Stoic wisdom, it's important to maintain perspective. A Stoic should not rush to judgment based on this behavior alone. Instead, the actions should be viewed as part of a larger picture of human interaction. Does she seek your company? In moments of need or simply as a way to pass time? Does she look for excuses to be with Yalbi? Because of emotional or intellectual connect? Or because of other factors? Stoic keeps a discerning eye, neither inflating nor deflating the meaning of these moments, but rather observing them with measured clarity. The Stoic's ideal response to this behavior is one of equanimity. When a woman seeks out your presence, the Stoic neither clings to them, in hope of something more nor dismisses it as inconsequentially esteem. The Stoic embraces the moment with gratitude, recognizing the opportunity for connection without excessive attachment. Understanding that relationships are fleeting and that people at times may drift in and out of four lives. The Stoic enjoys the company one. It is offered but does not overly invest in the expectation that it will last indefinitely. This mindset allows for a more resilient and grounded approach to relationships that present, without succumbing to anxiety about what might come next. Final thought. In Stoicism, we're taught to focus not on the fleeting emotions that can arise and fade in an instant, but rather on the deeper, meandering green supples of virtue and wisdom when it comes to understanding attraction. Body language and connection. Stoic approach encourages us to observe with clarity, to appreciate that present moment without undue attachment, and to remain grounded in our own sense of self-worth. The signs of attraction we've explored, such as prolonged eye contact, mirroring, and subtle touches, are merely outward manifestations of deeper emotional currents. A Stoic does not rush to conclusions or become overly swayed by these external signals. Instead, we recognize them as part of the natural flow of human interaction. Acknowledging the mean while staying detached from the need for validation or control. Ultimately, relationships, whether they're romantic, platonic, or somewhere in between, are built on respect, mutual understanding, and the willingness to engage authentically in the pursuit of wisdom. A Stoic seeks to cultivate a sense of peace and emotional resilience, allowing self to be open to connection with, becoming enslaved by, desire or expecto. While the signs of attraction may indeed be powerful, the Stoic response is ways to remain centered to appreciate others, presence without excessive taunt, and to navigate our relationships with patience, wisdom, and in understanding that true flourishing comes from internal growth, not external validation. In the end, remember that attraction is just one part of that broader journey. Oh, living a meaningful and virtuous life. Focus on being the best version of yourself, and the right connections will naturally